So muting all. Welcome to Pilates. This is mat Pilates, so you'll need a mat and you'll need your body. Please, please, please feel free to take any modifications that I do today. I kind of vary up what I teach every week because Pilates really is a lot of the same exercises in a certain sequence, but the varying points are variations of each movement or just sort of the order. The principles are all the same. You want to keep breathing. Inhale through the nose, exhale out through the mouth. You want to think about alignment, embracing of the abdominal muscles at all times. This is a 45-minute class. Like I said, I won't be stopping for breaks, but that doesn't mean you can't stop for breaks and drink water at any point. Okay? If you have any neck or specifically lower back injuries, I'd recommend keeping the head down or keeping it down as much as you can and then lifting it up as much as you'd like to work on the neck muscles. And then for your lower back, you can always keep your feet on the mat. You can always keep your knees bent. All right, let's go ahead and take it to the mats. And we'll get started. In terms of music, just so my voice comes out clearly, I'm not gonna be playing any music here, but you can play any music you would like at home because you are muted. You can play really loud rock and roll and no one will hear it but you. Okay? All right. I normally start in a seated position, but I'm actually going to start in a different way today. Exciting times. So if you've taken my class before, a lot of times I start sitting on my butts, but today we're actually going to start in our quadruped position. So with the wrists underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. We're going to take our spine into its extremes, rounding the spine. The head and neck and the tailbone are extensions of the spine. So that means when our spine is rounded, in order to keep that curvature, my head will drop and my tailbone will be tucked. And then when I do the opposite, which is our smiling spine or our U-shaped spine, you're gonna lift the tailbone, you're gonna lift the chest, and you don't need to hyperextend the neck by really looking up. You just wanna keep sort of that same natural curvature. Usually the eye gaze ends up being, 1 to 2 feet ahead of the fingertips. Good, exhale. Round the spine. Inhale through the nose. Arch that back. So I'm not really shifting forward and back as I do this. I'm only moving my spine. Exhale out through the mouth, round the spine. And this also, by the way, if I'm doing anything on my stomach and you don't prefer to be on your stomach, if you're expecting or it's just not as comfortable, you can always come onto your hands and knees and do spine exercises like that if I'm on my stomach, okay? All right, now we are going to come under our back. So we just kind of got some motion in our spine there. We're gonna roll all the way down. And now we're gonna allow the flatness of the floor, get our spine, head, and tailbone, or I should say head, spine, and pelvis all in neutral position. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. You should be able to hear yourself exhale. Inhale, rib cage expands. Exhale, abdominals flatten down. Inhale. And exhale. Now I have my laptop to the side of me so that I have to turn my neck to see you guys. But for your sake, it's not about you needing to position your camera so that your body can be seen. So you can place your camera closer towards your feet or in any position so that you aren't constantly turning your head to look at me. We're going to imprint that lower back. So if your lower back isn't already firmly against the mat, we're going to do that now. Draw the abs down. Feel that tailbone lift up. That's your imprints. Inhale, release the imprint. Let the tailbone come to the floor. Exhale, imprints. Think about squeezing the abs, not so much the butt. You can really squeeze the butt and achieve imprint as well, but what we're trying to do is achieve imprint with our abdominals. Inhale. Release the imprint, tailbone on the floor, and exhale. Contract the abs, imprints. Keep the imprints and lift those legs to tabletop. Shins parallel to the floor, thighs perpendicular to the floor. Exhale, tap a toe down. Inhale, return. Exhale, tap the other. Notice only one of my legs is moving at a time. And only that leg is moving in the hip socket. So I'm not trying to straighten or bend the knee further. I'm not losing my imprints. I have a very strong, stable midsection, or from waist and above. Okay, so you can glance at me for like a couple seconds, and then you want to turn your direction, eye gaze back to the ceiling so that your head and neck is aligned with the spine. And if you can do Pilates without needing to look at me and just listening to my cues, feel free. We're going to lower all 10 toes to the ground now, and towards the ground, I should say. Don't feel obligated to go all the way down to touch the floor. So exhale, lower both legs. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. If you feel your lower back come off the mat, then you do want to stop the lowering of the legs. Take the toes all the way to the floor, only if you can ensure that your imprint stays on the floor. Good. You should feel increased work in your abs as your legs move away from your head. Last one, lower and lift. And then from here, drop your heels to the butt. Feel those quads release, and then feet to the floor. Hip distance apart. Getting ready for your shoulder bridge. Inhale, we come to neutral. Exhale, imprints. Press to the feet, squeeze the butt. Slowly roll up. Inhale, we're holding at the top. Exhale. Articulate your way back down, inch by inch. Lower back to the floor, and then tailbone on the floor. Inhale, exhale. We're exhaling during exertion or during the movements, so squeezing your butt, pushing those hips up. So our butt is actually also part of our core musculature. Anything that attaches to our spine and pelvis are core muscles. Slowly take your way back down. And let's do one more. So here we're articulating our spine. We're just trying to get movement, one vertebra at a time. And later on when we do this move in the workouts, if I remember to do it in the workout, we won't be articulating. All right, from the head, neck, and shoulder blades, we crunch up, utilizing those abs. The abs pull the ribcage toward the hips. Inhale, hold, and exhale. Release. Nod. Crunch. Hold. Release. This is like the most slowest way you can do crunches. Inhale. Exhale. Eye gaze on the knees. Inhale. Exhale. Control it down. We're trying to get your shoulder blades off the floor. Keep them off the floor, not letting it fall, or lower until you are ready to lower it. This is the position we're going to be in for hundreds, when we pump our arms 100 times. You have options for your legs. So if you've been doing Pilates for a while and you want to pick the most challenging option, you can. So option 1 is feet down. Option 2, knees and feet together in tabletop. Option 3, legs straight out vertical, quads engaged and hamstrings being stretched. And option 4 is legs on the diagonal, which challenges the imprint. Okay? Go ahead and roll yourself up. Reach those arms, shoulder blades off the ground, and we pump. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 10. Inhale. Exhale. 20. Look at your knees. Exhale. 30. Constantly reaching with those fingers. Exhale. 40. Inhale. Think about the imprint. Exhale. 50. Inhale. Halfway done. Exhale. 60. Inhale. Those shoulder blades still off the ground. Chin tucked. That's 70. Inhale. Exhale. 80. Inhale. Exhale. Lots of endurance here. Last 10. And exhale for 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. I think if you really count my pulses, we might have done 107, but nobody's actually counting, right? Let's flip over. And remember, you have the option to be on your hands and knees if you'd like, if you don't want to land your stomach. But we are going to warm up our spine muscles now. Okay. Everyone's like, all right. So here we have our forearms on the floor for assistance, mostly because this is our first spine exercise of the day. Gently pressing into those forearms to give your upper body the support it needs. Similar to before, that the ear, shoulders, head, neck, torso, that spine needs to be aligned with the head. I'm going to try to just keep my chin down and look at the floor so that if you watch me, you'll see me doing it with good head and neck alignment. I'm pressing into the floor, but not too much. The tops of my feet stay on the mats. And if you decide that you don't need the assistance of the arms and you want to get a little more lift, a little more opening of the chest, you can reach those arms back toward the toes. So here we inhale, arms reach back, chest lifts. I'm not looking up, my chin is down, but that doesn't mean I'm not getting lift. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other. And we're trying to have really long, slow, deep breaths. So as I inhale and lift my chest, reach the arms, I'm trying to inhale for as long as I can. And when I'm ready to exhale, I slowly let it out. And I slowly lower with control. Let's try one more time. Deep breath in. And slowly releasing out. Take our hands underneath the shoulders. Push yourself up. We're always going to do a little spine stretch right after we work the spine muscles, just to make sure it's okay. All right, so Pilates is all about building the movement pattern off of your breath. The breath never stops. Inhale, exhale, constant, 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 which means our movement never stops. We're going to flow from one move into the other. Remember, you can take breaks. So our half roll back. Palms are facing in. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, C-curve the spine, half roll back. Inhale, lengthen through the top of the head. Exhale. Let's keep those toes on the floor. Inhale. Exhale. Keeping my shoulders down and relaxed, away from the ears. When I'm ready to inhale, I sit up. When I'm ready to exhale, I roll down. Inhale. And take my front arm, doesn't matter which, sweep it back, look at the thumb, follow the thumb back to the front. The other arm that's not moving stays in place in front of the shoulder. So try not to bring both arms across the body. Sometimes we do that, but in this exercise we're not. Exhale, reach. Inhale. If you have your AC on, that's perfectly fine. I tend to keep my AC off in Pilates just to sort of have a little more warmth, which helps with my muscle flexibility. It's like hot Pilates, but not heated up by any sort of artificial means. We're going to roll all the way down. Going to bend the right knee. Doesn't matter which knee again. Roll up. Inhale, arms, head, shoulders. Exhale, reach the legs straight, dive toward your toes. Inhale, you can keep your arms at about chest height as you roll down slowly, keeping the heels heavy on the floor. Bring my other leg up. Inhale, arms, head, shoulders. Exhale. Again, keep the breath going. Keep the flow of the movement going. The exhale takes you all the way forward. If you want more challenge, inhale, arms are high. And we roll down. Exhale. I'm going to keep my feet down, but feel free to keep doing the single leg versions. It does give a little bit of assistance to come up. Inhale, arms, head, shoulders. Exhale. Inhale, reach if you want, or keep the arms low. Exhale, roll down with control, keeping the heels heavy on the mat. Inhale, arms, head, shoulders. Exhale. So we're exhaling during the exertion phase. Inhaling here, not quite exerting ourselves yet, and then exhale during that lowering phase. It is work. We're resisting gravity. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last time. Good, hug the knees in. Extend one leg out. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Here's our ab series. I know we just did some abs, but we're going to continue. Head, neck, and shoulders can be lifted, but at any point you can put it back down. Inhale. Exhale. You can direct the legs higher toward the ceiling. That might feel better for your lower back. Or you want a little more challenge, lower towards the floor. Hands behind the head. Add rotation, slight rotation. If you want to flex the foots, get a little more stretch in the calf, you can. Or if your foot's cramping. If your foot's cramping, you don't need to necessarily stop moving, but you can just flex the foots. Pull shoulder blades off the floor as we rotate slightly towards the bent knee. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Good. Bringing the legs to tabletop, we open and close. Open and close. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. So there are different ways you can make Pilates more challenging, and it's just your body, right? We haven't added any equipment. You can pick up the tempo. You can lift the head, neck, and shoulders. Figure out the leg angle that you want, right? It can be the tempo. You don't want to go so fast that it's all momentum, but if you're going very slow, sometimes it allows you to have a little breather and a break. Good. Lift the legs to scissors. Double pulse, double pulse. Split, split further. Split, split further. 2 short exhales. Inhale. Inhale to switch. I'm just using fingers and barely pulling my legs. You want your quads and hip flexors to do the work. At any point, you can put your head back down. Last 2. Last 1. Flip over on your stomach, and you should probably feel more than ready to rest your abdominals. We're going to go into breaststroke, so we reach forward and circle the arms back. Let's exhale, reach. Inhale, circle. Getting full range of motion in the arms. Not the arms, the shoulders. Full range of motion in the shoulders. Well, I guess there's full range of motion in the arms too, because we're bending it here and then we're straightening it. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Again, you're keeping that breath going and you're keeping the flow of your movement going. Do one more. And feel free to keep going, but I'm just going to quickly demonstrate here. If you wanted to not be on your stomach, you don't have too many options, but basically you're going to lift the right arm, left leg, which does work your spine in a way that you're not on your belly. All right, go ahead and push yourself up and sit back. If you look at spine extensions, we're basically on our stomach and moving our limbs. There isn't like that much variety you can do, but there's quite enough. Okay, so we're going to go into our glutes here. So down and up, down and up. All right, my screen clip's flickering. I'm just going to check something, but you guys know how to do shoulder bridges, yes? Okay, so go ahead, down and up. Good. You want your feet hip distance apart. I know we are going to be lifting a leg, and sometimes you want to prepare for that by moving your feet to the center. But you actually do want the challenge of being or feeling slightly imbalanced when you lift the leg. All right, don't want to center that. So again, check your feet, hip distance apart. We're going to lift the leg. So push those hips up. Good, it doesn't matter which leg you goes first. We're going to lift leg as straight as can be. We're going to flex the foot, pretend there's a wall right there. You're going to drag your heel down the wall. Lots of friction. Keep reaching out. Stop when your knees are next to each other. Point, drag your toenails up the wall. Nice and slow. Keep it lifted. Keep the hips at the same height. Again, drag your heel down. Make sure you're breathing. Let's inhale here. Exhale, drag down. Everything's exertion, so it doesn't matter if you're inhaling to lift or exhaling. Just keep alternating breath. Last one. Bend the knee, place the foot down, and then lower the hips. All right, so even though if I say inhale going up, exhale down, it doesn't matter if you exhale going up, inhale. Push those hips up, other leg. Straight to the sky. Drag your heel down, slowly. Gotta use your imagination here. Against that wall, drag your toenail up against the wall, to the ceiling, and down. Like, how many are we doing? It's actually just 3. Just really, really slow. And then last one. Lift, bend the knee. Good. Going up, down, up, bend. We're gonna add a circle. Lift the hips up, first leg. Lift it up, make a little circle. Doesn't matter which direction. Drag your heel down. Use your heel, make a little circle. The circle is so small, it almost doesn't matter which direction you're going. It's almost like a little pulse. It just distracts you from the movement. Circle, lower, circle. Last one. Circle, bend the knee, and come back in. Take a break. Just drop yourself straight down. We're not articulating down. We're not articulating up. Okay, lift up. Second leg, second time. Inhale, we lift, circle. Very small circle. Exhale, drag the heel down. Leg on the 45-degree angle, circle. Drag the toe up. And drag the heel down. Last time. So we just go up 3 times. Go down twice. Don't forget to make that last circle. It's the foot on the ground. So control it. Like you place your foot on the ground and then you lower your butt with purpose, as opposed to just sort of letting everything collapse. Okay, from here, we're going to do a rollover. Now, before we do the rollover, I'm going to show you what's called a rollover prep. A rollover prep is that right there. You lift from the tailbone to about the mid-back and back down. So earlier we did head, neck, shoulder blades. Now we're doing the other end of our body. This is what I call sort of the heavier end. our legs are longer than our upper body, and it is more challenging to use the abs to lift the legs and the hips than it is to lift the head, neck, and shoulders. Use those arms. Exhale and inhale. Now, if you shoot your leg over toward your head, you'll find that you might use less abs because the weight of your legs helps to pull your butt off the ground. And that's okay, but over time we're going to go more up than over. But in today's exercise, we're actually going to do the roll over. So we do want to shoot our legs that way with control. You don't have to do this, which is why I'm showing you the rollover prep first. So you're going to stay here if that's more comfortable for you. The rollover here, our legs are on the diagonal. Inhale to prepare, exhale. With the weight of your legs, pull yourself over. Now my legs are parallel to the floor. I'm not going to touch my toes to the floor above my head. I'm only holding this here because it's hard to do it without it, but you don't need to do that because we're actually not staying there. We're going to just roll back down. Remember what I said about working your abs in both directions? You may not feel it as much going this way because the weight of your legs takes you over, but you will feel it on the way down if you control the lowering. Articulating your spine from shoulder blade to tailbone. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale, hold. Exhale, unroll with control. I'm going to show you a couple things. If you don't feel it on the way down, a couple things you might be doing. One is you might be allowing what I call the collapse. So here I let my hips collapse, my knees kind of fall down, and I kind of fell. If you do that, you won't feel your abs. So what you want to do is have strong, straight legs. See this angle on my hip? You can open it up a little bit, and then you want to keep it open. So I want you to look at your knees and make sure your knees aren't falling at your face. You should not fall toward your face. Exhale here. I lift my knees on the inhale just a bit, and then I try not to let the knees move towards my face as I slowly unroll. Let's do one more. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, little lift, and then exhale, control. I'm keeping my head down on the ground. Try not to lift that head. Good, so now we're gonna roll it the other way. So this way. Yes, I know, it was like the roll up, but I'm gonna do a little bit of variation. We're gonna actually pull the knees in and then shoot it back down. If you want, you can start with your legs straight. I'm just showing the bent knee version first. Inhale, arms, head, shoulders, kind of fold together. Inhale, arms, head, shoulder blades. The reason I say that is because you've got to get those shoulder blades up before you do the rest. It looks like I seamlessly do it all in one motion, but you actually first prep the movement of getting those shoulder blades up, and then you finish the rest. Now I am going to straighten my legs and practice the same thing. Get those shoulder blades up and legs. You're working your abs on the way down too, so you are not just falling down to the ground. We lift, we lower with control. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. It's okay if you need to bend your knees, it's totally fine. Still get a lot of work in the abs. That's our last one, and now we're going to come to our side. So anything that touches the pelvis is core muscle, so we're going to work the side. Propping up on our forearms, we're not going to sink into the arms. I'm going to keep my bottom knee bent, my top leg. I'm going to lift it as high as I can, probably about shoulder height. I mean, if you try to lift any higher, the odds are it's going to lower anyways. First thing you're going to do is lift and lower, pulsing. If you want to take it all the way back to the ground and rest the leg each time, of course, that's fine. That's fine. If you find that you keep sinking into the shoulders, maybe you want to reach the arm up. I currently have my butt on the ground. It's not going to stay there, but I want to show the progressions. So, or just all the various options. So first our lift. Lift here too, the obliques. Good, you're just gonna keep breathing here. Everything's just constant exertion anyways. You can point or flex the foot. Now I'm gonna bring the leg forward. Try to pick a height that's relatively high. It might not be the highest height because it's hard to maintain it, but mostly the height. And swing your leg forward. If you find that when you swing your leg forward, you can't help but lean back, then what I would say is instead of leaning back, just move your arm a little bit. So let your arm be the counterbalance as opposed to your whole torso. Okay, that's only if you need it. But what we're trying to do right now is to hold our body still without moving anything other than that leg. Good. We're actually going to try the same thing, this lift. Let it rest for a moment, but I'm going to actually have you rotate downwards. So this was more direct side plank kind of position. I'm going to actually have you rotate downward just a little bit. And what this does is it kind of challenges our butt just a little bit differently. This lifting of the leg now should feel a little different than when we were here. So you can try both again, just sort of angle yourself downward. Don't sink, don't collapse. It's just a slight angling downward. It brings the hips slightly forward. If I look at my top hip compared to my bottom hip, it's slightly forward. You can use your kickstand hand, that's fine, but you should feel something different in your butt. Yes, you can touch it. It's there. Rock solid, glorious. All right, have we had enough? It's cramping up for me. Okay, now you can repeat all that, keeping the hips down, or you can join me in lifting the hips. I'm actually gonna reach my arm back up. I'm back to the normal rotation. Okay, we're still on the same side. We're still on the same side, just a couple more exercises. Lift. Lift. Now, can you keep the top leg down? Of course. Looks like that. This is a simultaneous lift of the hip and lift of the leg. What this does is you're coming to the side of your shin, and it does work the outer thighs down here. Also the outer thighs here. Now for this next exercise, that leg is going to kick forward. Do as many reps as you'd like. Find what's challenging but doable. Lift, kick. However many times you feel like doing it. And if you want to keep your butt on the ground, get your butt back on the ground. I think I'll do about 8. Do 4 more. Try not to lean back. Use your arm to counterbalance if you need to. 2 and 1. Good. I know it's also a lot for that shoulder. Just roll it out. Sometimes the limiting factor when doing planks, whether it's a side plank or a front plank, is actually the shoulder girdle. So it's not, even though we are working our abs, there are other muscles involved in the plank. So they all work together, and whatever is the most weak is gonna feel fatigued first. That doesn't mean you don't practice this. Just wanna keep practicing until all these muscles, these secondary muscles, these assisting muscles, also get strong, okay? We're on the other side. I forgot the first thing we did. This is it. No, it's not it, it's this. Sorry. Ignore me for a moment. We're back on track. We did not lift the butt first. We stay lifted out of our shoulder and we're going to lift the leg. Whether your toe is pointed or flexed, You want to be in neutral position, so that means the toes and kneecaps face forward. Or, yeah, forward. Same direction as your eye gaze. Hopefully your eye gaze is not up. You don't want your kneecaps to be up. Oh, I know what we did. We were pulsing. Listen, I have really bad short-term memory sometimes. Okay. Now this feels like the same pain as the other side. Okay. Everything's coming back to me now. I know you guys are like, I wish I could speak to Fen right now. Tell her everything she's not doing right. Okay, let's kick it forward. Yeah, okay. We're in agreement here. We're gonna kick forward. Our abs may not be working directly. We may not be crunching directly. That doesn't mean it isn't stabilizing. I'm gonna try to count here. Let's do 5 more. So I hope it makes sense what I say when I say don't lean back to counterbalance the leg moving forward. If you need to, maybe move the arm. Try to keep your torso still. Really try to keep those abs locked in nice and tight. Okay, before we do our hip lift though, we have this angled position of our body. So imagine if I had a logo across my shirt. You can read the logo clearly, and now it's like, oh no, my logo was partially hidden. And then lift the leg and pulse it. Oh, this time, if you notice my kneecaps, which I forgot to say on the other side, is pointed down at an angle. It's not pointed straight ahead anymore. This should feel different. In fact, it should feel harder. It should feel more wonderful. Is that the word you were thinking of? Wonderful? Don't forget about all this here stabilizing. Press into those forearms. You're like always pressing yourself away from the floor. Like your yoga mat stinks. You gotta press away from it. Okay, my leg just can't move anymore. So that means we're moving on. We're moving on to our hip lift. So I'm gonna bring my arm back up. I'm gonna open up my chest again so you can read my logo again, my imaginary logo. And we're gonna lift the hip and the leg. Lift the hip and the leg. And also notice when I lower my hips, I'm not sinking into my shoulders. Your shoulders is independent of everything else. It stays constantly lifted. Looking great. See, like 3 more here. Then listen to your body. Do as many reps as you like. Fine. And once again, my kneecap and toes are facing forward. Okay, we have 1 exercise left. I just have a lot of sweat underneath my elbows here, so it's a little slippery. Lift the hip if you want, or keep the hips down. And we're gonna kick it forward and pull it back to straight alignment. Kick through that plane. Here's the plane. There's like a glass plane in front of your body. You're gonna kind of kick through that, and then you're gonna return behind that glass pane. Let's try 4 more. Ideally, I'm trying to keep my leg at the same height. See that it's quite challenging. Last 2. Last 1. Okay. Ooh, roll out those arms, roll out the shoulders. Yes. How are we doing? Everyone good? Yeah, okay. No one's regretted joining this class. We're going to move on to, we have about 5 minutes left, so today I wanted to do one of my favorite exercises. I think it's called a boomerang. It is a cross between a rollover and a teaser. So if you remember what teasers are, and I'm going to actually show you a couple, because if you don't want to do the boomerang, don't do the boomerang, do the teaser. If you don't want to do the teaser, you can stretch. I mean, remember this class is optional. So our teaser here is we roll up, we kick out our legs, and then we're balanced on our tailbone. Okay, and you can bend your knees or you can keep it straight. This is the ending position of the boomerang. And then from there, we lower our legs to the floor. But this is like the stopping point. This is what I want to show you right now. And then to get out of the teaser, if you're going to be doing teasers, you straighten the leg a little bit so that it counterbalances your body as it rolls down. And now you're back to the beginning. Let's do the teaser one more time. Inhale. Get those shoulder blades up. Exhale. Extend the legs. Roll the spine up. And then pull the knees back in if you have to. Reverse the motion. And down. So now I'm going to show the boomerang. And if you want to take a quick break while I do it, you can watch. Or if you want to keep doing teasers. The boomerang basically starts in a sitting position. And we're going to use momentum to roll back into a roll-up. I mean a rollover, sorry. So watch here. All this is momentum. Okay, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to start to lower. Remember, I'm not going to collapse. I'm going to start to lower. Just as my lower back is about to hit the floor, I release my hands, and this is where you want it. Crunch up with your abs, accelerate, and then decelerate. Bend your knees if you have to. And then here's the last part of the boomerang. You reach your arms back so that you can lower your legs really, really slowly, and your arms counterbalance the movement. And I'll tell you this right now. If I'm here and I don't move my arm back, that's what's going to happen. Okay? And you're like, oh my God, yes, how much more can I reach? Yes, try it. It's actually really fun. We're going to use momentum and go back. If you need to bend your knees, bend your knees. Okay, ready? Inhale. Exhale. Fall back. Decelerate and pause. You have to be in control of your movement. You don't want to slam your knees into your nose. Okay, inhale. Now I'm going to exhale slowly. Slowly, I'm going to start to unravel. Now I'm going to let my hands go on the inhale. Roll to my tailbone and pause. Are we here? Good. Inhale, I'm going to bring my arm back. And then exhale, slow, slow, slow. And then we start over. Inhale. Exhale, we go back. Inhale, I hold. Or maybe inhale, I lift my legs a little bit. Exhale. I slowly lower down. Let my hands go. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Bring those arms back. Inhale. And then exhale here. Ever so slowly. Can we try one more boomerang? This is fun. All right, last time, inhale. Exhale, we go back. You can also do teasers. You can also do push-ups. You can do whatever you want. So this is the most challenging transition because you want to time it so you have some acceleration, but not so much that you don't, your feet go to the floor. So go ahead and slowly roll down. Let go. Oh, didn't have enough momentum. I barely made it. Reach those arms back. It's a constant reach. I'm not just moving my arm back. I'm constantly actually reaching. And my abs are so engaged so that my legs slowly lower down. Well done. Well done. That is the boomerang. Anything involving rollovers are generally classified as advanced moves. You don't do them very often. It's also articulation, just from the other end. So go ahead and find your quadruped position. We're going to do one more spine balance. Extend the right leg or left. And whatever is the opposite arm, you're going to reach forward. You can either have palms facing inward or palms down. We're going to pulse a little bit. Whatever's comfortable for your shoulder for that pulsing. So this is a great way to work your spine in neutral position. Because when we're on our stomach, we are basically in an extended position, which may not work for everyone. It does counteract, you can return your limbs before, it does counteract all the slouching we do. This is basically slouching, right, when our spine is rounded. So going into an arched position does counteract that. But sometimes maybe all we need is neutral to counteract the slouching. Let's pulse it here for about 12 times. Finding balance. Control, lift and lower. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Just alternating the breath. Abs are engaged, drawn up and into the spine. Okay, and of course I lost count, so let's just stop there. For today's stretch, I'm going to have you do the twist. There are many stretches you can do, and a lot of Pilates is stretch and strength in one, so we don't necessarily have to do a ton of stretches at the end. I have my left, if you're mirroring me, my left crossed over my right. I'm going to turn towards the bent knee. I'm going to hook that elbow just above the knee. I'm going to press into it. I'm going to lift my chest and then turn. Every inhale, I'm going to try to lift my chest a little more. Every exhale, I'm going to try to twist just a little bit more. At some point, you're not going to be able to lift and twist anymore, but if you still think about it, it's good. Again, you're turned towards the bent knee so that you are in a twist, as opposed to turning in the same direction as that bend. Okay, let's try the other side. So turning towards the bent knee. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, twist a little more. So I recommend, it depends on your fitness goals, but I recommend doing Pilates twice a week if you can, because once a week is good. It's better than nothing, for sure. But twice a week really will help counteract sort of all the sitting and daily activity do that really not necessarily help our posture. But if you're doing yoga and other types of exercises that are alignment-based, stretch-based, that's good too. It's all about a wide variety of exercises. So even from cardio, whether it's running, not everyone has weights right now in their houses or have access to gyms, but lifting weights or doing body weight, all good stuff. So a little bit of strength, a little bit of flexibility, some cardio, and of course, healthy balance.